All right, all right. What's shaking, everybody? Luke Dancy here. We are going to be chatting today live from New Orleans with Mr. Doug Conn, the conjurer, right? He is the man. And before we do that, I want to announce a couple winners. We had some contests going on, and we did let you guys know we were going to announce the winners here live today. I'm talking about the winners of these decks right here, the Ghost Cohorts. I have 3 decks that we are giving away, and our winners are coming up right about now. Let me pull up my list. Our email winner list is Mr. Eddie Petty. Congrats to you, Eddie Petty. I will bring in some applause. Here you go, Eddie. Our Instagram winner is at Magic Matt Man. At Magic Matt Man. His name is Matthew Miller. I asked you guys to type the word ghost in the comments. He actually typed in Patrick Swayze, who was in Ghost. So I thought that was pretty awesome. And our winner from Facebook is Owen Marshall. Owen Marshall is our winner. So they each, again, pick up a free deck of the brand new Ghost Cohorts. These are also marked. People don't know that. And we'll be in touch with you guys. I'll tag our winners and make sure everyone gets hooked up. But today, we are going to be talking to Doug Conn. He is a performer. He is a street performer. He is a creator of magic. And he has been blowing up on TikTok all over the place. Show him some love. Welcome him here. I'm talking about the one, the only, Doug Conn. And here he comes right about now. How we doing, sir?
Greetings, Internet. Luke Dancy. What a pleasure to see you today, sir.
Oh, man. Thanks for joining me, Doug. I appreciate the time, my friend.
Happy to be invited.
Thank
you for that.
You have been doing so much fun stuff, and that's why I wanted to talk to you. You know, you have been, like I mentioned, doing TikTok almost every day, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much every day now.
Yep. Busy making lemonade, as they say. You know,
yes, that's right. Yeah. I know, all things considered, you know, the world's in a weird spot, and you're normally out there performing for the people in person, and you can't really do a whole lot of that now. Now, actually, have you been able to go out and do some busking in this situation? You have, okay.
A little, and it's awkward. It's doable and somewhat profitable, so it's nice to be working at all. Oh, look, there I am. This was what? I'm a few weeks ago, last week of October, which is one of my favorite weeks in New Orleans. First of all, look at the weather. It's gorgeous. Yeah. It's Halloween weekend, always brings in nice crowds. This was just awkward, you know, because half the crowd's masked, half does not. It's just awkward. You know? We're in a pandemic, but
and the social distancing, you know, everyone trying to keep away, but even though they want to be like right there, right underneath, you know, watching everything, looking close at it.
Yeah, my experience, this clip maybe makes people look a little closer than they were. The families tend to huddle together, and there's some distancing going on. And know that I'm doing this with the city's blessing. We New Orleans have been very cautious, and the mayor declared busking to be safe and legal outside. Cool. And you know, so I certainly approached that with caution, and only did so when it was appropriate. So let's
of course,
make sure that happens.
Expect anything other than that from Mr. Doug Conn.
Yeah, well, you know, there's different opinions and different strokes for different folks, and I'm just letting you know what's in my mind.
Michael Mayo is here on Facebook, and he says, was that Jackson Square where you were there?
Yeah, that's where I go. If I'm not doing a gig or if I'm not busy, I'll be on Jackson Square pretty much every weekend from now until they don't let me, you know, or it gets too hot.
Oh, yeah.
Although this TikTok thing, it's taken a lot of time. So that, you know, the last couple of weeks, I haven't gone out mainly because of the looming TikTok ban. I wanted to devote as much energy as I could to the platform. It could have all crashed last Thursday and still could, but so I went all in, kind of get my numbers up as much as I could. And now this weekend I'll be going back out to Jackson Square. Nice. As good as TikTok's been, it's still not, you know, this yet. So
have you had people that have seen you? I know that people aren't out like they normally are, so don't get me wrong. The crowds that you would normally see are smaller, but have you had anyone recognize you from TikTok when you're out there?
Well, I had one the last time I was out, and I hadn't had one before that, but I knew it when it happened. You know, it was a younger, I was 10 or 11 years old, and he just walked up to me, and I was like, "Yep, I'm the guy from TikTok." I said it right away, and he's just like, "Wow."
Yeah.
So yeah, I've never really had any sense of celebrity about me. You know, maybe a tiny bit in the magic community, but to have this happening from the Muggles, it's unusual for me.
My fiance is here, and she says we'll have to check you out in New Orleans and get some good gumbo. She's got family down those ways, and she's all about some gumbo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the good gumbo comes from the family's houses. That's where you get the good gumbo.
True that.
You go buy it in the French Quarter. Yeah.
Let's jump on into some questions. I've already got some piling up here. Ryan Baird over on the Facebook says, what's your advice for gathering a crowd? So when it comes to doing the things that you do on the street, do you have any tips or advice on building those crowds?
Yeah. As I was taught by Jim Cellini, the king of street performing, rest in peace, Jim, sound, movement, and color. Those are the three things that you want to look for when you're busking to generate the energy that you're looking to, to create. Sound. This can be clapping, whistles, amplification. Do something that people can hear you with. A lot of guys just use a wand. They'll bang it around on the cups. Just your voice is enough. Movement can be many things. It could be like, I'll use the linking rings to open a show. The rings is a great example of how this generates a crowd. If you can get your first couple people to stop. Now I have a trick that is noisy. It's got a lot of movement, and people know what it is when they see it. It's these silver rings that link. Oh, it must be a magic show. So step one, stop someone, okay? You got to stop the first person. And on that note, the most important thing with all of this is confidence. If you're not out there with confidence, none of this will work. You have to exude it. You have to be in control of the situation. Stop your first person and then proceed with a little sound, movement, and color and watch the crowd build. And we could talk about this for hours, but that's the nutshell. It's the elevator story, how to get a crowd.
All right. Very cool. And I know that it sounds easier than it is. You only get better at this stuff by doing it. And a lot of people,
it's insanely hard. It's very, very difficult. Especially if you're in an environment like New Orleans. I know I haven't worked Las Vegas, but I understand it's very challenging there, that you have all the distractions we have. Homeless, the people trying to sell you something on the corner, the buggy rides, the restaurants. There's so many distractions that, to be able to stop someone's attention just out in the Wild West, you better bring your A game to the busy cities.
True that.
Maybe if you're working at a festival or a fair, that's a good place maybe to dip your toe in the pond where it's a little more lackadaisical.
Oh, yeah. I also want to let the guys know that not only can you type questions in the comments, I've also put the link both on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page for you guys. If you want to call in and ask Doug a question, I am opening up the lines now. So I've actually got a caller coming in now. You ready for one of our live callers out there, Mr. Doug?
Look at this tech. You are rocking it, dude. Yeah, I'm ready for this.
I'm trying. I'm trying my best.
Yeah. What's the question?
There he is.
Hey, Doug.
Hello, Frankie.
Hey, how you doing? I have a question for you. Why, out of all the types of magic to perform, why did you choose busking?
Well, I was inspired at a young age by Harry Anderson. Do you know who that is? Harry Anderson. He's before your time, but he was a comedy stand-up magician. He used to appear on Saturday Night Live, and he had I'll tell you something you want to see, is a show called Hello Sucker. This is his 1 hour television special. It originally aired on Showtime, but it's on YouTube. You can watch the whole show, and you'll get a gist of what it inspired me. And I was reading his biography in a TV guide, and he indicated he had been a street performer in New Orleans. So I decided at about the age of 14 or 15 that I was going to do that. And at the age of 18, I arrived in New Orleans. This was also Jim Cellini, who I spoke of earlier, was quite instrumental as well. I got to meet Jim at a magic convention that he hosted in the mid 80s. And Jim Cellini is just, he is walking magic. This man is the most magical human being I've ever met. So if you don't know the name Jim Cellini, then you don't know one of the most, I'd say probably aside from David Copperfield, Jim Cellini's probably done more magic than any human to ever live. 30 or 40 years of street performing, 5 to 10 shows a day, that maybe 20 shows a day, for 30, 40 years. That you only get real magic by doing that kind of experience. So.
True that.
So there you go. Is that enough of an answer?
Yep. Thank you, Doug.
Did I ramble too much? You got something else for me? You want a side question? Or?
Is
Very
this something that doing busking, is it something that you knew you wanted to do when you first got into magic, or was it sort of something that you found?
I started magic pretty young, right? So I was doing magic in middle school and high school. And I guess I found out about street performing when I was a few years in. But yeah, it was a focus of mine. I'm hiccuping. Okay, right out of high school, I got a gig with an amusement park. So I auditioned at Kings Island, and I was able to leave high school and go get some good performing experience in the real world, doing it was 15-minute sets 5-6 times a day, and that primed me to hit the road and do the busking. So that helped. Had a great time, and I started in Chicago, Illinois, and had the time of my life. And this was a situation where I was one of a few buskers. There wasn't a big busking scene. And I came to New Orleans where there was a lot of buskers, and I ran into the tough situation we spoke of just a few minutes ago. And I became a starving artist very quickly. So it's weird how one venue it can work for different people. I've heard people say the same thing about Vegas. Like, man, I kill it in New Orleans, but I can't get a crowd in Vegas to save my life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
venue is important, whether it be the street or whatever you do, right? Venue is important.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Frankie, thanks for the questions. Not just the question, but the questions.
Frankie.
It's always good to see you out there, man. And thanks for the support. And we have another caller now too, so we'll bring him in just a second. So
Nice.
Cool, man. All right. Well, thanks, Frankie. We'll catch you later, buddy.
Ciao, bro.
Later.
All right. Let me see if we have any other quick questions in here that I want to make sure. We do have another caller coming in here, so let me go ahead and add him in here. This is Naman, and there he is. What's up, Naman?
Greetings.
Don't think we have your audio though, Naman. Do you have yourself muted or something, or we're not hearing you?
I can do the mind reading, but I'm going to charge for $3.99 a minute. If I'm doing it that way. It's available. Just let me know.
Oh, that's too bad. Naman, do you happen to have any headphones? I don't know if it's something to do with that or not, but let's have a try with something else there. All right. We will come back to him in just a moment. I will keep his thing open to see if he...
I'm still impressed with the tech. I'm still impressed with that happening at all on a Magic Talk show. That's crazy.
Only the best for Doug Conn. Only the best for you, sir.
And for all your viewers, I see what you do. I don't have enough time to spend lollygagging around all things magic, and plus your chats start too damn late. Now that I'm an old guy, it's like I want to be on there at 5 or 6, not 10 or 11. So as much as I would love to be jamming on the all things magic chats, it's a little late.
I just added the link. A couple other people are asking how to call. I do have it pinned on YouTube and also have it on our YouTube comments and also on Facebook. So if you guys are watching either one of those places, the link is there.
Are we also on YouTube Live right now?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Naman, are you still there? Nope. Still not hearing you, man. I'm sorry.
That was close. It was a close
Naman,
second.
why don't we have you disconnect and try to call back in, and maybe that'll help reset things. Okay, we'll give it a go. Cool, man. Sorry, buddy. I do have another caller coming in, though. I know this is someone from talking to him. I believe you guys know each other. I don't know how well, but Mr. Danny Tangelo. I think you guys know each other, right?
Danny, what's happening, brother?
Danny, you there?
Dude.
Yes.
There he is.
How's it going?
You could be here right now, man. The weather's nice and there's people here.
There's people.
Well,
Maybe I should.
There's some. For those that don't know, Danny's a busker, and he occasionally drives into New Orleans just long enough to know how crappy it is before he gets out of town as quickly as he can.
Nice.
I used to hate New Orleans, but I liked it the last couple of times.
Yeah. Well, it's not as stupid right now because there's some big acts, but it's not as busy with the performers, right? It's not bogged down.
It's not, the sound
You
isn't.
got a real question, or you just on here going, "Hey, what's up, Doug?"
I just popped in, saw you were live, and popped in.
Yeah. All right. Well, good to see you, Mr. Tangelo.
It is good to see
Maybe
you
I
out
will
there, Danny.
drive down there this weekend. Maybe.
That wouldn't surprise me. I'll be out there if you do.
Cool.
The Stanley pitch is still screwed up. They got an outside eatery in the old spot, but there's room.
Yeah, I'll find something.
There's room.
All right, Danny. Well, thanks for calling in, buddy. I'm sure we'll catch up with you later then. All
right.
See you, man.
Good to see you, bro. Bye.
We are starting to get really blown up here. I'm gonna try Naman again. I know that his system was giving a little trouble before, but let's give him another go. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Doug. Here we go. Naman.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Hey,
yes,
we got to get some applause coming in for that.
Finally.
Official now.
Thank you.
All right. What's up, bud?
What's up, man? So, firstly, great to see you here, Doug. And it's amazing with Murphy's getting you online today. So, very quickly, I'm just want to ask. So, I'm an aspiring magician from India, and I've been getting into the social media game recently. So, you being such a big person on TikTok right now, if you could give in some tips about how to generate good content in terms of getting more traction and more engagement on social media. So, any tips from the master would be amazing.
Okay, well, if you're following the basic rules, first of all, and you're going to have to find those from the TikTok experts, get good lighting, use your hashtags, those kind of things. As far as being a magician goes, I found more success when I broke the rules of the experts who said to do videos that are quick, 15 to 20 seconds. I started dipping my toe in the longer form, about a minute. I have a whole minute to work with now. And now I'm able to convey a little more presentation to the effect. And, instead of the quick visuals that you see everyone do on the platform, I'm now trying to give a little more meaning, give the audience a reason to care. So if you can do that always in magic, you're going to have it's the same answer for any magic. Give the audience a reason to care. I'll tell you, I'll tell you the rules I live by. Here is some. Look at the wisdom this man had. Alex Elmsley wrote. He wrote the theory. I'm just going to tell you, the theory and practice of magic. His goal was to become a competent performer, which I'm sure he accomplished. And in that goal, he set up about developing a system called the automatic producer. It's detailed in this book. These are some of my favorite books. If you don't have them, these are great. But the automatic producer starts with two questions, okay? The first question is this. Is something of interest happening all the time? Is something of interest happening all the time? So make sure that's happening. And then the second question is, can your audience appreciate the effect? So if you got something of interest happening all the time, your audience can appreciate what is happening.
Right.
Well, then I think you're on the right path. This book, he outlines that down, and there's 10 or 15 pages on his theories, which are often overlooked by this wonderful genius. But there's Alex Elmsley laying out how to do good TikTok. The automatic.
I'll definitely have a look at that one. And thank you so much, Doug. I think that pretty much answered my questions, and I hope I'm also able to get into the game very soon.
Well, best wishes to you. Nose to the grindstone. It takes hard work, but you can do it.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Luke. Thank you so much for bringing me on.
Yeah, of course, man. It's good to have you on, bud. It's good to see you out there.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'm loving the new deck which I just received from you last week. Still playing around with that. Thank you so much.
You got it, bud. We'll catch you later, man.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Doug. We are still rocking with some other callers. Here's someone calling in from across the pond, actually. Let me see how to bring him in here. Did you have any questions for me along the way too? I know obviously that we are talking to other people, but did you have anything you wanted to mention along the way too, or any questions for the guys out there?
Do I have questions?
Yeah, for the guys watching. Do you have any questions about things that they like or things that they've I don't know. I'm just trying to spitball something here. I don't know.
I understand.
while I'm
Yeah,
stalling.
I hadn't really thought about that, but I'll think about questions and then maybe I'll ask one.
There we go. I can bring him in now. Okay. I was stalling, Doug. I was.
I know. I was about to go off on a tangent if you didn't come back real quick. So
There we go. This is Mark.
Mark.
Hi, Doug. How you doing?
Good. What is it there? Evening, afternoon, morning? It's got to be weird, huh?
It's just gone 9 o'clock in the evening here in the UK.
All right. Good evening. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Gee, yeah, I've asked that. Sorry. Quick question.
Good. Yeah. What?
Okay, what is your go-to trick if someone catches you on the hop? Like if you don't have like if they just come up to go show us a trick.
Probably the one coin flurry. So I'm just taking a coin and, I usually have coins on me. It'd be something like, maybe I have one palmed and I get it from behind their ear, or I grab some metal and I just start doing a one coin flurry where it vanishes and appears. And I'll give you a brief. Oh, you want to see a little magic there? Oh, sure. Here, let me get a little metal off my glasses. If I heat it up a little bit, I can make it a little bit bigger. That's about coin size. That should work. Here, I could just warm this back up. It's the friction that keeps it working, right? It's the heat that softens the metal. Yeah, once you get it soft enough, if you know how, and I do, you can squeeze it until that's probably too, I'm trying to stay in frame. That's too small, but if you reverse the friction, you can bring it right back. If you keep that warm, you can keep it working. You just keep it warm. Yeah, you get the idea. I think that competence with a single object, with a coin, which will give you the ability to manipulate all kinds of objects. You can learn a good one coin flurry. Now you can do magic anytime. So that's why it's my go-to, because you can always find this, right? It's probably in my pocket anyway. What's yours? Curious. Do you have one?
Yeah, I sort of do carry a deck of cards with me.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people always quite a good judge of what to do with them. With one of the tricks I did, I've actually got my current job at the moment, where I've got them to shove the deck of cards, two cards out, and then they took the deck of cards, and they just dealt down until they wanted to stop and put the card in upside down, and repeated, and then the two cards they stopped up was the opposite, like 2 black 9s and the 2 red 7s, for example, and that's. It's easy to show you them. I don't know what it's called, but it's quite an effective trick.
This is the joys of, I'm assuming you're somewhat of an amateur magician. And by amateur, I don't mean bad. It means that you're able to take new material and play with it as you see fit whenever you're out and about, right? Not having you got.
I'd love to become a full-time magician. But,
you say that. I was talking with David Williamson yesterday, who opened the interview advocating against that completely, and I will do the same. It's a crazy lifestyle, trying to eke out a professional living as a professional magician. So if Williamson can say it, I can follow up and say, yeah, just keep your job. There's enough of us trying out here.
Yeah.
It's a great hobby, I find I'm able to enjoy it from all the aspects, but the work, like I hate doing gigs. When I go do gigs, rarely do I dance out of the door going, yay, I get to go to the convention hall where the music's going to be loud and the people are going to look down on me because they don't know magic's for adults too, and yada, yada, yada. It's rarely do you get to work in an environment where it's like soul filling. So that becomes work, like any work. But then you get I got piles and books and tricks that I love as a hobby. And if you have that, that's a great thing to have for magic.
Well said. Well said.
Here am I rambling. So I hope you have that.
Well, Mark, I want to say thank you for calling in, and I hope you're staying safe. Mark works in the healthcare industry over there in the UK, so he's on the front lines of a lot of the stuff going on. So send out my respects and much love to you out there, my friend.
Hunker down and be safe, bud.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I am. Thanks.
Cool. All right, Mark. We'll catch you later, buddy. Good to see you, man.
Keep safe.
You too, man. Thank you.
I shall.
All right, Mr. Doug. We've got another caller here calling in, but first, I would like to actually show some of your magic as we talk about it a little bit. And then Ryan, we'll get to you in just a sec. Let me see. Which one of these routines of yours? This one. I want to see this one with Doug Conn. This is a kick-ass routine. Why don't you talk about what's going on here? A little TikTok action here.
Is there audio or not?
No. I leave it out so we can talk. We can talk about it.
Yeah, okay. So it's a 3-card Monty demonstration, right? And if you guys do color Monty, you're going to recognize this opening. So I introduced the queen, and I, watch the queen. It's not on the top, it's not on the bottom, yada, yada. You can't find the thing, right? And then the queen comes right back. Well, now we're going to turn it up about 180 degrees. Watch the queen. It's over here now. What? That's a 9? Yeah, see the queen? It goes on the table, but in the blink of an eye, it's back in the hand. How does that work? Well, I explained it. It's pretty easy. You got adjustable queens. That's how. It's adjustable, obviously. You can make it bigger. So that's easier to manipulate. Or if you make it on the wider, that works too. But that's not the best way. The best way to cheat this game, if you've read, and I have, you get one that's smaller, like that. Just a little smaller. That's the real secret.
So thank you for that.
You know what I'm not used to doing? Describing the trick in a minute. And this trick is a 2 or 3 minute routine for me. So when I take on the task of putting it on a TikTok video, it takes a whole different energy and mindset than, the normal pacing. But
I was going to ask you that just real quick. Like how tough has it been to cram stuff down? Because you have such a large,
it's tough.
Like your knowledge is there, but how do you take that and condense it down? Like, is it hard to do that, or have you kind of gotten used to it over time?
Yeah, it's like the thing I filmed today. I'm like, oh, nailed it. That's great. I go to look at it. It's 1 minute and 5 seconds. Oh, and I can work with 5 seconds. I remember filming this one. I think the first plastic surgery where I was like, nailed it. It's 1 minute and 19 seconds. So I'm like, how am I going to shave? I thought I had it. I'm like 20 seconds over now. So yeah, there's been days where I've spent hours and hours on a 1 minute clip
just to get it there. Wow.
And not get it and come back the next day and spend hours and hours.
And speaking of TikTok, I want to say too, guys, if you see on the screen on the bottom corner there, I've got his username there at Conjure. I think that's also the same name on Instagram as well. If I'm not, I think I got that right. Yeah.
I'm Conjure everywhere.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
I'm building a Conjure website, which is too new to talk about, but I just talked about it.
All right, cool, man. That's exciting. Heard it here first.
Yeah.
We got another call.
I'm gonna monetize that TikTok. Stay tuned.
Dude. Yeah. Is that kind of the way this stuff works too? Real quick, and then Ryan will get to you. I am not in your world. I'm not in any kind of world with YouTube or any of that where you kind of get the ball rolling. Is it really that way that when you push and you finally get over the hump, that it like opens the floodgates? Does it make it easier when you hit a certain point? I'm not saying it's easy, but it doesn't work that way.
No, but I'm still a noob, right? I only started this really in June, so I'm like just super fortunate. And I guess they say you make your own luck, right? So I'm gonna, hey, you made it, Doug. You did something, Yeah. So if you ask me these questions in a couple months, I'll probably have a better answer.
Okay.
But it's working. Like all my site numbers are up. My website, my YouTube doubled already and is growing exponentially. So it's all working fine. And
it's awesome.
And there's some money involved too. They have a creator fund that is not, huge, but it counts, it's something. And also I do lives on TikTok. That's another thing that's
right. I forgot about that.
And they have a tipping system there that works to my benefit. And I don't push that real hard, but if I needed to, it's there, and I could, and I could
actually didn't even know that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's I guess not unlike YouTube, but what they do is they buy gifts, and then they gift you like a box. So they might pay $5 for the box, and they gift it to you, and then I would get $3 of that or whatever.
Okay, gotcha.
So TikTok's making a killing, and I make something.
God. Ryan, I think I've got you queued up here. We got another live caller coming in here, and there he is, Mr. Ryan. What's up, buddy?
Oh, yep, it's me. What's up?
Hey, thanks for waiting.
Ryan.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Hi, Doug.
Good evening. It's after. I don't know where you're at, but howdy.
I'm on the East Coast just like you, so it's late afternoon here.
All right. What's happening?
I guess,
What's up, bro?
I guess my question for you is, what are some good resources to study as far as busking and street performing?
Jimmy Talks a Lot's blog. Are you familiar with Jimmy Talks a Lot?
I am not.
Well, there's your answer. I don't need to say anything more than that. So Jimmy Talks a Lot. Find his blog. If you want it condensed, he has a book. Buy it. It's called To Lure with Spectacle. And that's the best resource. Probably the second best one is Cosmo's Tales from the Street DVDs. It's he does an interview segment with Danny Hustle that's full of knowledge. The trick segments are good too, but the real information, comes from
Right.
That's what you get on Jimmy's blog. Literally hundreds of topics discussed. So he's a real worker.
Cool.
What kind of magic do you do?
I do a lot of close-up stuff. I've done some busking shows before, and I just was looking. I'm in Virginia.
Okay. Well, there's some spots around there.
Right. Yeah.
Arlington, have you been there?
I have not been out to Arlington yet. I'm about an hour from DC.
Okay. Well, consider that. Put that on your radar.
Right.
And
yeah, I definitely will. Definitely will. I've been watching your TikToks. I'm a big fan. So.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Go read that Jimmy Talks a Lot blogs. Go back to the beginning and just start from there. It's all there. It's there for anyone who wants it. How do you be a busker? That's the first post. So you want to be a busker, eh? And then you just start.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Happy to help.
All right. Cool. Ryan, how are you enjoying those cherries over there, man? Still treating you good?
Oh, dude, I still love these things. The casino cherries are great.
Sweet. Hey, there he is.
Hey.
I'm representing.
Yes.
I'm representing.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Cool. Well, all right, Ryan, we'll let you get out of here, buddy. Thanks for hanging out and jumping on again.
All right. Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Good to see you, man. Catch you later, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you too. Yeah, see you later.
Good luck out there.
Thank you.
All right. Lots of good people today, Doug. Lots and lots of good people wanting to chat with you. Here's another guy calling in now. This is a guy that knows all about performing, but he's in his car, so I hope he's being safe. Jesus.
Love that. Rule breaker. Living dangerously just to get the inside scoop, huh? I can respect that.
Uh-oh. We don't have any audio though, V. We don't hear you.
No audio.
Yeah. Don't wreck your car. You may have to call us back in.
And smash.
Yeah. You might want to try to reconnect again. That's what happened with Naman. We had to reconnect with him, so I'll go ahead and cut you off here. All right. Sorry about that, Doug. You just never know these days with the peeps.
No sorries. The fact this happens on any level at all with you bringing people in. Okay, here we go. 2.5 million views on this thing. This is George Sands opening, right? So it's the George Sands opening where you cut it with your fingers. That's a Dave Williamson touch I learned, chopping off the extra bit. That's a great touch. So I do, phase one of George Sands, and then a little bit from Tabaree. This is a Tabaree, the rope master, the French rope master. This is his sequence where you make 4 ends, and then there's 4 ends. I added this where you double the loop, so it looks like 2 loops, and then it's 2 ropes.
Nice.
And then it's 1 piece, and that's 2.5 million views.
With the piece of rope. God, that's cool. Uh-oh.
And I had no power, and I hadn't put anything on the internet in several days. So I went home and I threw this up just off the cuff, not thinking anything of it, just to try and put some content out. And it immediately just started going crazy town. And it's still going.
That's awesome.
I try to keep up with the contents.
Oh, yeah.
Not on that one. With the comments, I mean, people comment. I try and like, hey, thank you, but no.
Oh yeah. 2.5 million. There's a ton of comments on that, I'm sure. Let's try again. V, are you there?
Now? Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we got you, bud. We got you, man.
Okay, good. So I asked some questions in the chat while I was not driving. Okay, but
let me ask you a question. Do
Sure.
you practice in the car? Is there a deck of cards?
I have practiced.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're doing it right. Okay, go ahead. What's your question?
Were you prop light or prop heavy when you went out busking? And how did you carry your stuff if you did? And because
yeah, good question. And I guess I could mention some of my. I don't even. Do I have one over here? I have a. I didn't even mention my own thing. How do you learn busking? Well, you could go to my website, and here's what I have. I have a manuscript called Concrete, and this gives kind of like the beginner's basics. It's 20 pages that covers. And I'm just saying, this isn't your answer, but I'm saying I have the answer in there. But travel light is the answer for me now. Okay, I travel. My props are a deck of cards, some coins, and if I'm working big, I'll bring the rings out. But I'm doing coin tricks and card tricks. I work out of one of these. This is a catalog case that carries my amp and all my props, and really most of the stuff that's in here is, tech or stuff I need out on the pitch, bottles of water and towels and things like that.
That was my second question. A lot of performers who busk in the open. I mean, I've busted before, and one of my issues were like you have like a really like pronounced voice now. Did you always have that, or was that developed over time, or did you always had to rely on the amp?
I started without one, and I advocate beginners not use an amp because you're going to run into situations where it's not allowed. It's inevitable that you'll be in a space where the amps aren't allowed. So start without one. And now I use one every chance I get. It just allows me to deliver my material without having to emote as loudly. That works for me as a performer. But like the guy Jimmy talks a lot, doesn't use an amp, and he will stand next to the loudest things in the universe, and you'll hear him from the the real buskers don't need the amps.
How has your hat line, the ending speech, has that changed throughout time to match your show?
Not enough. If money is never at the front of my mind. So rarely do I focus on the things that the women in my life would like me to. But I've had the same hat line for about 20 years. And I've started doing the last season. I added a card to wallet. This is a great bit from Tony Miller. So this is his this is Real Man Speed Loader. I think Brent Braun's wallet will do this too, but this is great because it's a slideless wallet. Okay. So you see what you see in there? That's a bill, right? So this is without the effect, but this goes into my pocket. So now when I'm ready to reveal the trick at the end, and Luke, you have a clip where this happens. Maybe you get that clip ready from the back. So I do this. I say inside my pocket, inside my wallet, inside the pocket of my wallet, paper clip to some subliminal advertising. And now I got the bill in view, one playing card. Now this bill gets dropped into my hat. And so in addition to the speech they're about to get, they have these subtle cues leading up to that moment, which is very important. Throughout the show, you want to be sprinkling, hey, did you like that trick? It's probably worth a 20, huh? You want to give them a little idea that you're about to drop a hat on them and you want to get paid. You need to tell them what you want to get paid. I often use a 5.
Hat, or do you pass around a bucket at the end, or do you pass?
Yeah, well, I do that too. Yeah.
Okay.
It's what you want to do. Some guys leave it out the whole time. Some guys pass the hat at the end. I'll often do both. I'll leave a hat sitting out and then pass it. But I tend to work pretty close up these days. I used to do a big show. I did fire reading and a cut and restored rope and the rings and the big cups and balls. But I just wasn't happy as a performer. I really like doing a closer style magic. So, like I said, I do coins and cards, and I'm happy. I'm not wealthy, but I'm happy.
I have one last question. So
what?
The thing that stopped me from busking here was the winter. So did you have to deal with the seasonings? Then how did you deal with it? And what did you do if you did? I don't know if New Orleans has a 4-season state.
I was in Chicago. I was in Chicago, and then I came to New Orleans for the winter, and then I stayed here. The summers are practically unbearable, but you just leave in the summer. Usually, I'll use that time quite often to do some more magic-related things, like do some lectures or maybe conventions, things like that. Try and do that kind of work. The full-time buskers, the ones that do it full-time, are they love to travel. And I mentioned that in the manuscript. If you don't love to travel, you can't be a busker. You just can't, because you have to. It's part of the job.
Man, thank you
for
so
full-time.
much. I appreciate it, man. This is I just want, I always wondered if I stayed with busking, because I ended up bartending because it gave me a roof over my head.
Yeah, I've done that too. I mean, I've spent years behind the bar. Same.
Yeah, but busking is, there was a thrill to it that I loved, and it's kind of
when it's the thing about busking, there's no more rewarding experience than stopping people in the wild blue yonder, and they watch you and applaud and give you money. It's totally rewarding, more so than any of the gigs that you'll be offered.
I agree. That's why I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Happy to chat you, bro. My pleasure.
Cool.
Best wishes. If you're ever in New Orleans, hit me up. We'll go do it. We'll do a show or two together.
Yeah, be safe on the road.
Have to do that.
Be safe on the road.
That's a sincere invitation.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna hit you up today.
Cool.
Right. Ciao.
Thanks, B. Be safe, man. Be safe out there.
Yes, sir.
Cool. That was fun. He's definitely a worker, and I knew that he would have some good, legit questions that I know you're a wealth of knowledge about. So thanks for answering all of those. That was awesome, man. Thank you. And again, here's you back out in action. I had another clip of you out doing your thing.
Yeah. So at this point, the card's in my pocket already. I do a multiple selection, and my thought process is if I can get multiple groups involved, now everyone's emotionally connected to this card sequence. Look at the girl with her hands over her mouth. The reactions on this are pretty good. And your card in my pocket, in my wallet, in my pocket. Now there's the hat I talked about sitting right there. It's available. So if someone wants to tip me at any point, they can drop money into the hat. And paper clip to the bill in my pocket. Subliminal advertising. And I don't really say anything to it. I just put it in the hat. And as I say, let's give this a moment for the stunned silence to turn into a standing ovation. And that's what happens.
Nice. Oh, man. That's so fun. I remember when I was down.
It's about as big as the crowd's got, over the last few weeks. Not much bigger than that. And that's pretty small. Okay. Anyway, what were you saying?
No, I was just going to say, I remember when I was in New Orleans a few years back, and I'm just walking around the square, and I'm like, whoa, that's Doug Conn. I remember seeing you in action. And if I'm not mistaken, at the time, it was either you or one of the guys that was also busking around. Were you doing a straight jacket, or was that someone else?
It's probably Bobby Maverick.
Okay.
Do you know Bobby?
I do not.
Yeah. There is a couple, straight jacket is kind of a traditional street act. So there's, it could be, I can name 5 or 6 guys it could be, but if it was a magician, it's probably Bobby Maverick.
Okay.
Boy, I mean, this town gets crazy. I think there could have been one of 12 magicians that you saw. I mean, imagine that. Imagine being in a 10-block radius where there's 12 street magicians trying to eke out a living. It's just bonkers. And that's just the magicians.
Yeah,
there's jugglers and breakdancers and mimes and musicians, the artists, the tarot. It's a freaking circus out here.
Yeah, got a little bit of everything.
Right.
We had
a lot of magic.
A lot of magic. And I was going to actually ask you about that too. The magic community outside of the busking. Is there, I know that back in the day, New Orleans was a hub. You had Rocker Bomber and his, the Bennigan's days, I think. Isn't that what it was?
Yeah, for 10, maybe 15 years. I drive in with Rocker Bomber. We lived in the same neighborhood. So I had the pleasure of cool. I consider him a mentor, a guru, and one of the coolest human beings I've ever met in my life. So beyond just, being a monumental resource of magic. He's just a great guy, you know. As I was bringing children into the world, he had great fatherly advice and just a good friend to have, you know. But yeah, in addition to that, every week, and anyone that was in New Orleans, including all the workers that would come in for conventions, and, you know, yeah, it was just a wonderful learning period.
Cool. I think we got time for one more caller. If you're down, I'm down.
Oh yeah, sure, man. Yeah.
Cool. We got.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Good, man. I am too. If you're good to go, I'm good to go. What's up, Avi? How we doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm whatever you're happy with.
No, I'm good, Doug. Trust me, this is fun. This is fun for me too.
Okay.
Hey, Doug.
Avi, what's up?
How are you?
Good to see you, brother. How are you?
Yeah, you as well. Doing fantastic. I've recently been looking at one of your tricks. I forget the name exactly, but it's the one with the dice and the counting, right? Where you roll 4 dice and coincidice. That's what it is. So I'm wondering a couple of things.
That's my most significant contribution to card magic, by the way. It is.
That's a great. Hey, that would be a good.
Really,
you know,
it really is.
And anyone will be proud of such a contribution. It's a really good trick.
Thank you, sir.
So my question is, and this is something I think about myself, because other magicians talk about adding props or not having so many props when you do card tricks, because card tricks are confusing enough. They're things that most people don't use all that often. So I'm wondering if you ever think about throwing too many props into a trick together, what's too much, and that kind of thing, and how to incorporate the props that you do bring into the trick itself. It's something that you ever think about.
I do. You know, certainly from a worker's viewpoint, pocket management is, you know, it's real estate, right? So anytime I add any prop to my professional repertoire, it's a big deal, right? Now, a trick like coincidice, which I really reserve for magicians, probably formal performances or fast company, you know, I'm ready to go for a trick like that. And I might have my bag of tricks close by with a stack deck and my dice ready to go. But I do have alternative plans, usually always, if it's a trick I want to do. And an example of that trick, I have a version, which I don't think I published, where I just have people hold up a number of fingers. So I'll start with a 1 to 5 twice, and then I'll give someone the 5 to 10. So now there's, with a visual representation, the same effect, and I've eliminated the dice. So always options, right? Does that answer the question on any level?
I think, yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's also a deeper element. I mean, it answers the specific question of coincidice, but there's also the deeper question of how many props are too many to add into a card trick. Is there too many, right? At what point does it muddle the trick? And do you have any thoughts on that?
Yes, I do. My thoughts are this. You can do anything you want. You can do anything you want. There. That's my thought.
That's it.
I've seen too many magicians do too many things in unique ways and make it work to say what can or can't be done. So whatever makes you happy. As long as you can, you know, as long as you're people, as long as you can look at your audience and have some kind of judgment as to whether or not they're enjoying this. Like, maybe you're horrible and you don't want to keep doing that. But, you know, so if you're not getting good responses. But, yeah, aside from that, do whatever you want, man. You know, some people love props, right? Some people just live. You go to the shows and they got 6 tables and all the stuff, and that's what they do. And, man, let me tell you what. As I was saying, I have a deck of cards and a pocket full of coins, and that's about enough for me, right? If I don't need more than that, I'm not going to use more than that. Gotcha. And as I get older, I start throwing away the stacks. I start throwing away the tricks that use tables to put things on. You know, the gimmick stack gets smaller, and yeah, the props get less. So the younger you can throw away more props, the better off you'll be later in life, according to me. That's me.
Well, Avi, thanks for calling in, and it's good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a hot minute, so this was nice to.
Oh my gosh, so nice to see you guys.
A little surprise.
You've been buried in schoolwork, huh?
Oh, I just got out of a final. That was brutal.
Yeah. We don't need your excuses. You make your choices, bro. It doesn't have to be card magic all the
time. So nice to see the two of you.
You too, man. You take care out there. Be safe, buddy. We'll see you. One trick that I was thinking of when you were talking to Avi there was flush brush. That's like such a Doug Conn classic. And dude, that I mean, if you guys have seen Justin Flom's, does he call it card art or card artistry? I forget what he calls his version.
Yeah, I think that's what he called it. Card artistry.
For those that don't know, that trick is based directly on Doug Conn's flush brush, which
and we give credit to Chris Kinner here for Paint by Numbers, which influenced me, even though I've never seen anyone do that trick, including Chris. I read it in the book and someone told me they had seen it. I was like, wow, that sounds good. But I still haven't seen anyone do Chris's trick. And I can't do it because it involves challenging riffle stacking.
Yeah.
I don't do riffle stacking, right? But I wanted to do it. So this is how things get accomplished, right? I said, well, what if I change this? Okay. Oh, now I got a new kind of plot line, and it kind of builds the plot in it's a little different direction from the way Kenner approached it. And no, that's actually, I was going to do flush brush, but I think because I couldn't get my phone camera working. You want me to do it?
Hey, Doug, I would be honored, man, if you were to do that.
I was going to just talk about credits, but here, I'll do the trick. I really, this isn't bad. This looks pretty good. All right. Okay, here you go, guys. If you haven't seen this, it's pretty cool. I've seen it before. You'll like it.
Nice.
No, it's true. My mom likes it too. My mom don't lie. So it's a card trick. Now, it's pretty good. This is a stacked deck, but because of the glare, you can't really tell. So I'm just going to show it to the camera. Stacked as can be. So when I do these card tricks, I like to think of it as a form of art. Now, when most people think of the word art, card magic is not the thing that comes to mind, right? You think of art, you might think of a painter or a sculptor. Well, if I were a painter, this would be my painter's palette. And this is how I would mix the palette. I would shuffle face up and face down cards into one another. I just got a hanger there, but I'm going to go with it because that's what professionals do, man. We just keep it rolling. Can you see that? Face up and face down.
Yep.
How about this? No.
There you go. That's better. Yeah.
That looks like they're mixed up.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Dang it. Okay. So now we need a tool to work with. Now, artists might use a brush. I'm going to create a pasteboard paint brush. From the pack. And the pad will be the canvas upon which I create this piece. And you can only imagine how good this would look on an iPhone 11 Pro Max. What is that? That's the hanger I was talking about. Let's see what happens. That was Picasso style, as we say in the biz. A prologue, a foreshadowing to the painting of the aces. Nice. That's an ace of hearts. Can we see that?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to pray that I have 4 aces here. Oh, we got a plot. And if you play poker, don't you, Luke?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you'll like this. That's the ace of hearts. That's the king. That's the queen, jack 10. That's a royal flush. That's a royal flush in hearts. That's the spades. That's the diamonds. That's the clubs. And that's how a pro works through a problem.
Beautiful.
Oh, and that's fucked up.
That's so beautiful, man. Oh, man.
Ooh, we got there. That was a close one.
That is so fun. Thank you, Doug. That is really an honor to see you do that. Like, I mean that.
Hey, thank you, Chris Kinner, for the plot. I was going to mention that actually preceded by predating Chris Kinner. There's a thing in a Frank Garcia book where he just rubs the deck across the backing and just produces 4 aces. So if you're like a viewer here and just want a quick 4-ace production, that's kind of a cool one. You just have them on the top and you just rub them down the rubber backing. That's cool. The real predecessor to all of that. And now you know the whole thing.
People are digging on this in the chat. Naman, who was joining us earlier, says that's too good.
I guess I could do this. On my website at dougconn.com, you can get my stuff There's DVDs that have a couple versions of the flush brush trick. It's a 2-disc set. This is on the pinky count. This has the trick Avi was talking about. This is a good thing for $15. It's a good value. Anyway, DougConn.com for your consideration.
Also, I don't know if they're available at this time, but your book, if I'm not mistaken, the very first trick in your book is one of my all-time favorite versions of that plot. I don't want to reveal what the plot is because it will fool people if they've never seen it, but Chameleon Sandwich is absolutely at the top of my list when it comes to that particular kicker, if you know what I'm saying.
You know what? There's a good place to learn that. I recently put a tutorial on YouTube for that.
Oh.
I'm not a big tutorial guy, but I did that one for a reason. And one of the reasons is, like, Paul had put it out as a preview to the book.
Yep.
And to answer kind of your question, I don't have the books. Unfortunately, we lost Paul. There's an inventory of them, but I haven't really talked about that with anyone.
Right.
It's in limbo right now.
Yeah. Okay.
But his website is still up, and the preview of the book is still there. So if you want to learn Chameleon Sandwich, old school, which I always recommend the book over the video, then go read that. There's a couple other things in that preview too. So that's festdu.com. Assume a lot of you know Paul's site.
Yeah.
Check out the YouTube channel, YouTube Conjure, same thing. And I've been putting a lot of the short form content up there, but I'm going to do like once, maybe twice a month, original magic tutorials. And only because they broke me, Luke. They freaking broke me, man. Give it tutorials. Everybody wants the tutorials.
Yep.
Good presentations are not enough. So fine.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I'm going to do the tutorials. Just a little bit. And three months later, it's going to be daily. They were talking about the key card.
And real quick from me and Doug, I haven't really talked too much about this because at first it really hit me hard. We were both friendly with Paul Cummins, who we lost, and how did you guys actually meet? That would be a great way to talk about Paul without getting to, bringing it too down.
The TSD website.
Oh, yeah.
You were around. You
yes,
know
sir.
that jam.
Yep.
So we exchanged lecture notes. Well, this exchange of lecture notes, which was back in the day where we were kind of lucky just to have email, or a little bit beyond that, but it wasn't like now where there's video learning and things like that on the internet. But long story short, we started an email discussion that lasted months about the material in his notes and mine. And it might have been a year after that, he asked if he could write the book. I was thinking, why don't you just write your book? But yeah, you can write mine if you want. And that's what happened. So it really happened from the second deal, and then kind of just an email. We only knew each other online for a year before,
wow,
we'd met, and the book was agreed on before that. So.
That's cool. So I had no idea it was
what a great guy, huh? One of the best.
Yeah, not just as a magician and best side still I've ever seen, but his heart, just one of the most gentle souls I've ever met too.
That's right.
Yeah, he will be missed for sure. Yeah, and I was going to see if I had one more trick from you. I want to show one more of you performing, because we're talking about a lot of classics with Paul Cummins. This is a classic that you based off of Larry Jennings. I don't think I've showed the invisible palm routine yet, have I?
Oh, no. This is a good one.
Bam. There it is. Let's talk about what's going on here, Doug Conn.
This might be my second most significant contribution to card magic.
This is so good.
All right. So, okay, here's this probably for me is only going to be performed for magicians. So since you all are, let's pay close attention. I placed one ace on the table, and then I show the other three aces. Now, you're not going to get this in any other invisible palm routines. You've seen the aces in my left hand. And, well, that's pretty clean. That looks nice. It's a nice double handling. So that's probably an extra card. There's no way it's an ace. It's an ace. All right. Well, that's probably an extra ace you're thinking. There's 2 aces on the table, 2 aces in my hand. So we're getting this. We're getting the ace before it leaves. You get to see it. Now it's gone. And boy, that's a pretty clean handling, if I do say so myself. And then bang. And yeah, they see the ace. There it is. And I'm also pretty happy with this finish. Often the invisible palm doesn't stay true to the plot. It doesn't have a good finish. But again, you're going to see the ace. There's the last ace. Ace of spades goes into the deck. So at this point, you've seen every ace in one spot. And now this one is palmed reversed, which means it should appear reversed. And what I was going for, and this is imperfect, but I'm working towards it, is the face down appearance of the card atop the deck.
Man. Yeah, that's
great.
all
for, and that's as clean as an invisible palm's going to get.
Yeah, that's so beautiful, man.
Look, let me talk about that. I'll tell you what it is. I'll give you the scoop, people.
The skinny.
Yeah. Can you see this? Again, we're gonna have bad lighting.
Yeah, that's good right there. Yeah.
Okay. This. Where am I pointing? This is okay, you can't see it, but I'm going to tell you what it is. This is a diamond. This is a club, or this is a heart. This is a club, and this is a spade.
Okay.
So this card can be 3 different cards. It can be the ace of hearts if I cover it this way. It can be the ace of clubs if I cover it this way. And it can be the ace of spades if I cover the heart tip and keep it moving.
Cool.
So it's a gaff that is masks as 3 aces, and
there it is. There it is. There we go. Cool.
And in addition to that, right in the middle, with a double stick tape on there. Little double stick, which I know you're a fan of. Another Chris Kinner idea, which, wow, if you only learn this today, if you only learn about adding double stick tape to your invisible palm routine, no matter what one you do, in the Out of Control book, which I hope everyone has this book, because it is one of the best books ever written on magic. But Chris's routine is in here. That's also where the painting routine is. So check that out. And yeah, if you really want to learn more about this, it's yeah, but you know what? It's not a worker because invisible palm is so good, right? Like on its own, it's such a strong trick. But if you want to do the best one, this is the best one. So I use that again in a formal situation, magic conventions, or if I'm hired to perform a specific show where people have seen magic and they're expecting a cut above, if they paid the price, as the case may be. But in the real world, it's not so convenient to have a gimmick with tape hanging around your pockets, right? You can do an invisible palm just with a deck. So let's do that.
Yeah. But it sure is fun when you get to use it. It sure is fun. Yeah.
Yeah, if it wasn't my gimmick, though, I wouldn't use it. But at least it's mine. I have a reason to use it.
Before I let you get out of here, Doug, 'cause we're hitting the hour. Oh, we're already over the hour mark. Okay. I was gonna ask you if I know right now conventions aren't really happening. I know some virtual stuff's going on, but after things open up again, whenever that may be, do you have any plans one day of like hitting up some of the bigger conventions and lecturing and doing that, or does that not interest you, or is it more you want to focus?
No, absolutely. I spoke of Jimmy Talks a lot. That was our plans this summer. We were going to hit the East Coast and go do pitches and lecture together. He has a magic lecture also. He does.
Got it.
And my plan afterwards was to head to your neck of the woods. To go to Vegas. I wanted to spend a couple weeks there, really.
Cool.
And then work my way up the West Coast. And yeah, I'm always interested in conventions because I'm usually like focused on other things, street performing, or I don't tend to market myself to those things. But when people, call me, I always say, yeah.
Okay. I'm also asking because I may or may not be a point person for some conventions, so I will throw your name into
keep my name in the hat. I'm thinking maybe I'm more relevant now with this TikTok information I have, and I really think I could deliver some good information to people interested in social media magic, I've started outlining a manuscript. I don't want to call it a book, but just to make sure guys who are interested could have the basics that I skimmed over earlier. Make sure you got good lighting, understand your hashtags, what time of day do you post, et cetera, et cetera. Just put that all in a little ebook or something.
And I want to also give a little respect where it's due as well. Like Doug has been hit, the weather that's come through the New Orleans area. It's knocked out your power. You've been without this. Your computer stopped working, all this stuff. But never once did you stop. And I think that is one of the most impressive things about the last few months is
we lost the internet, and I was almost threw in the towel. It was the hurricane followed by the internet, and the hurricane was just having no power at all.
Yeah.
And the cell service was horrible. I was just powerless, but I was able, and this was kind of by design to do everything with my cell phone. So
got it.
When I started this, I learned a new phone editor, and I learned a whole bunch of things to do just from the phone. So if I'm on the road, I have that. I have the ability to do, a tripod would be nice, but beyond that.
And that's the reason I mentioned that too, is because, people often put their own excuses, their own obstacles in their way. But if you really want to do something, you will find a way. And
exactly.
Certainly done that. Certainly done that. So I want to give you some.
Try and stop me.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and plus COVID kicked my butt in the middle of it. I started I got off to a pretty good start in June. My first clip I put on TikTok went semi-viral. And then I got the ball rolling, and then I caught COVID-19. So that whacked me hard for a month. But
can't knock you down. No, you can get knocked down, but you always get up.
Back. Eye of the tiger, baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It ain't about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
That's right. That's right, man. How many times can you get up? It's about that. Well, Doug Conn, I want to say a big thank you for your time, your wisdom, and your generosity with your time.
My pleasure. What a good time this was. I had a blast. Thanks for having me.
Right by, man. So thank you. And you guys, too, the people that called in today, thank you for the questions. You guys in the chat, thanks for the questions. Don't forget, we pop up live all the time. And if you want to listen to this or any of our other past interviews, don't forget we do also put these on our podcast. You can see below. This is going to be on our Apple podcast. It'll be on Stitcher, Spotify, all the places. Just do a search for Murphy's Magic Unplugged. You'll find all of our episodes. You can listen to them on the go. Just want to give a little plug for that too. So you guys can listen if you can't have, it's time to watch these every week. I get it. So that's it though from me and Doug Conn. Again, I'm going to pop back on his camera. There's his name on the bottom of the screen. Check him out on Instagram and on TikTok at Conjure. Check him out there. Give him a follow. Show him some love. And from me and Doug Conn, we are going to get out of here. You guys stay safe, be good, and we will catch you all next time. All right? See you guys.